bright future. Every student matters.
Hello everyone. So the next sociologist that we are going to talk about is Emile Durkheim. Now Emile Durkheim gave a concept of division of labor. So on what basis is the division of labor taking place? What are the aspects? What are the characteristics? What are the consequences of all of it? That is what is being described by Emile Durkheim. Now starting with the life and the work of Emile Durkheim, he was a founder scientific sociologist in France, devoted his life to the scientific study of society and was the first professor of sociology. Now Emile Durkheim was the first professor of sociology. He lived during a turbulent period in French history. Social chaos and political turmoil was present in there, and there was internal instability and conflict. Now, when you talk about the French history, I am sure you must have talked about the French Revolution. You must be aware of the estate system, and in the estate system, how the people of the lower estate, or rather how the people of the third estate were taken in, were considered as people who were supposed to do all the tasks, as in pay all the taxes, work. However, the first class were basically the nobilities, then the clergies, and then you had all the big businessmen involved. So, because of all of this, he had seen a lot of social chaos and political turmoil in the country. He had seen a lot of internal stability and conflict in the nation, and therefore was very much concerned with the question of social order. On what basis should the social order take place? On what basis will the social order go? That is what he wanted to talk about. He dealt with the question of social order in his book, The Division of Labor, one of the very famous books of Emile Durkheim. This may be asked as a one marker if who wrote this book, or which was the very famous book written by him, where he elaborated the concept of social solidarity, wherein he elaborated the whole concept of social solidarity, and that is how he tried and explained the concept of social conflict. Now, as a professor, he examines the methodological procedures in the rules of sociological method, applied his method in the study of society and religion, the elementary forms of religious lives. So he kind of applied, he kind of saw these methods, or if the study of his methods, and he applied all these methods in the study of suicide, in the study of religion, and that is how he actually came up with the whole concept of division of labor in the society. Now, talking about the division of labor in the society, it says that the division of the labor came into existence because of the transformation of a simple society into a complex society. Because you had a very simple society, and you actually talked about the transformation of a very simple society with maybe homogeneous people, when we talk about primitives, to now when we talk about capitalists, you have 4 classes involved in. So when the society was growing from a simple society to a complex society is when you witness or when you see the division of labor. Now, according to him, the social organization is simple in the simple society was mechanical, and while in the complex society it is organic and requires an elaborate division of labor. Now, when you talk about mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity, these are some things that we will talk about in the video ahead. Wherein, as of now, you just have to remember that simple society had mechanical solidarity, whereas now in the complex society, we see the organic solidarity. Moving ahead, as of now, the division of labor means that the distribution of activities among different people on the basis of their skills and specializations. So how you have the bourgeoisies, how you have the proletariats, how you have the middle class people working in different occupations. So when you are defined, when you have different people have different bases of the skills or specializations, and that is how they are defined, or that is how they are characterized in the division of labor. That is what he talks about. Now, according to Emile Durkheim, society is based on the common moral order rather than a rational self-interest. He talks about it in a very, that you people also might relate, what all kind of skills that you have, that is major factor of deciding on what kind of occupation that you want to get in. So it is something that is decided on the common moral order rather than your rational self-interest, rather than your, what do you want to do. There's a kind of pattern. However, we have in a major sense tried and have been coming out of that patterned form, but still you do have that pattern existence, and at times you'll hear, oh, you follow the traditional way. So the traditional way is the patterned way of acquiring any kind of occupation. Then you have in a society, there is something more than mere collectivity and an individual, that is a form of social solidarity. So more than you just having emphasis, or you more than you just relying upon your self-interest, we do have something which is which is collective, something which has to do with the collective sense. That is what is known as social solidarity. When you just not care about, or when you're just not bothered about the self-interest only, or you just not enlighten the self-interest only, but take into account the collectivity around it as well, is known as the social solidarity. Now, social solidarity, according to Durkheim, is the condition of unity, cohesion and cooperation in the society. So you see the conditions wherein you are able to cooperate, you are able to inculcate yourself, you are able to see the whole society together, and hence you are able to function as a part of the society. Suppose that, and because of the same reason, we call it a social solidarity, where society is a major aspect. Now, talking about the two types of solidarity that we just talked about, again to make you understand, simple society had mechanical solidarity, whereas organic solidarity is present in the complex society. Talking about what is mechanical solidarity, which is present in the simple society. It is based on the likeness or the similarities. It is the solidarity of resemblance. So how much are you resembling the other? How much are you in the way similar to the people of the sphere, similar to the people of the society, is known as mechanical solidarity. It is found in societies in which individuals differ from one another as little as possible. Maybe again the homogeneous societies that we were talking about, maybe again the primitive societies as we were talking about, the hunters and the gatherers societies that we were talking about. All of these aspects where you are minimalistically different from the other person is what gives rise to the mechanical solidarity. Now, they resemble to one another because they feel that the same emotions, cherish the same values and hold the same things sacred. You have so much so that you share the ideas, you share values, you share, the same things that are sacred, and hence become a part of a very homogeneous setup. Now, such a society is coherent because individuals are not yet differentiated. It is a closed entity. It is a coherent entity. It is a close-knit entity because you still have people who are actually very close-knit and are relatable to each other. Now, such a solidarity is found in less developed societies. Societies characterized by mechanical solidarity are divided into segments which completely envelop the individual. Now, herein we just talk about not the divisions, not the stratifications, not the stratas, but only the segments, which is, which may be as simple as a boy and a girl. So, it is that simple in understanding that only envelops the individuals completely. A segmental society is based on clans and is more evolved form based on the territory. You do have the segmental society which is based on the clans, as in, the group of people, the group of the group of the people of the society, of your one particular type. and is based on the territorial setups as well, wherein, how many of you survive where and how many of you are a part of that particular territory. Now, this is what is there in the mechanical solidarity. There is low degree of interdependence. You do not have much of interdependence. We are independent, like everyone has something similar to offer you. Now, when you have something similar being offered, there is no point as such of the interdependence, and hence you have very low level of interdependence. There is also low density because the number of interactions is limited. You have number of interactions limited because there is no interdependence. If I am not dependent on you or you are not dependent on me, we might not have that interaction among ourselves. And that is what makes one of the characteristics of the mechanical solidarity. A society with mechanical solidarity is characterized by rules with repressive sanctions. You have repressive sanctions. You do not have, you have limited accesses. You have equal accesses. So all of those things become a part of the mechanical solidarity. Penal laws are practiced. If you are not really, following the rules and the regulations of the societies, you are penalized, or rather you are punished. So the penalized means that you are punished. So the general outlook is highly religious with little scope for discussion. Such a society attaches a supreme value to religion. Another very, very important aspect that this kind of society attaches all their values to the religion and is hence seen in a simple societal setup. Moving on to the organic solidarity, it is based on differences and the division of labor. The kind of society that we stay in today, wherein solidarity, it is the solidarity of consensus. How well are you able to come to a consensus with the other person? The coherent unity of society results from differentiation. The basis of the society is differentiation. It is the differences. It is the division of labor. It is the differences in the personalities that we have. And that is how you come to the coherent, or you come to the decision-making aspect. Now, organic solidarity is so called because it is like the unity found in a living organism where the parts, though highly differentiated, form a unity. Organic solidarity is found in advanced societies. Herein, it is like a body. You have different organs who are performing different functions. Now, even if these organs are performing different functions, they are helping in the functioning of one unit, that is the body. They are trying to perform the function in relation to each other, wherein you see interdependence. You see interdependence because you understand that my work will not be valued unless and until I take into consideration the work that the other one has done. And hence is there in the concept of organic solidarity. Now, it is so called because it is like the unity found in the living organisms where parts are highly differentiated, like we talked about. It is found in advanced societies we talked about. Societies characterized by organic solidarity have an organized social structure in which various segments are fused. You have the fusion of various segments. It is not in isolation. It becomes a heterogeneous society, wherein you see that interdependence. You see that relation among these societies, and hence is known as the organic solidarity. There is high degree of interdependence that I have just talked about. Now then they say that, there is a high volume of population and interactions take place because there are a large number of people, and there's high density of interactions. Because of the interdependence here, because of people being dependent on each other, there is a need for interactions and hence the interactions. Because of the dependence of the people you have, because of the large number of people here, you have interdependence and hence you have interactions, and that is what is one of the aspects of the organic solidarity. A society with organic solidarity is characterized by rules with restitutive sanctions. You are in a way able to access what your limit to an extent, what your limits are and what your society allows you. There is no equality here. There is no one horizontal way of understanding here. There is obviously a vertical division. You have cooperative laws that are being practiced. You have, you try and make it a society which is, since it is an interdependent society, one segment will face challenges if the other segment has challenges. Hence, there are cooperative laws wherein, the one person or the one segment is trying to cooperate with the other. The general outlook is secular and there is scope of discussion, attaches a great value to the individual. Like in the society which was the mechanical society, the main basis was religion, and herein you have the main basis as individuals. That was a penal law that practiced penal law wherein you were punished directly for if you were not really following the rules and the regulations. Here is the cooperative law that you're trying to set in things, you're trying to sink in things. We're talking about the major concepts of mechanical and the organic solidarity and how these two extreme forms of social organizations are there. So while the concept of mechanical solidarity is useful for understanding simple societies like tribes, the concept of organic society or solidarity is useful for understanding the modern complex societies and the pluralistic societies like India. That is the crux of what all we have talked about and what all we have in the starting read, the simple and the complex society, wherein you have tribes. They have taken an example of wherein you have, the whole concept of a penalization, wherein you have the whole concept of religion being given the most important aspect. Herein in the complex society, you have the cooperative setup, the individual being given that importance. And when you talk about the Indian society, which is so complex, that is what is an example of the organic solidarity. I hope this was able to make sense to all of you. Moving to the assignment questions, here is the first question. Name the book which Emile Durkheim discussed. Emile Durkheim discussed social solidarity. We talked about the division of labor, in which he elaborated the concept of social solidarity. Two types of solidarity we have talked about: the mechanical solidarity and the organic solidarity. What is Durkheim's notion of division of labor? He says that it came into existence because of the transformation of the simple societies into the complex societies, and that is what he beautifully explains in the he beautifully explains it in his explanation of mechanical and organic solidarity. Moving ahead, what is social solidarity? Now, social solidarity is a condition wherein you talk about, or you kind of have that interaction, that mere collectivity rather, and enlightenment of self-interest of an individual present in there. That is what is the social solidarity. Moving ahead to mechanical solidarity, we have just talked about it. Found in simple societies, have major basis on religion. It has the penal code, penal law being followed. It is basically a homogeneous society wherein it is found. Organic solidarity found in complex situations. you have cooperative flaws here. The mechanical society, the interaction is minimalistic, very low interaction here is because you have large number of people involved, the interaction is very high. It is generally found in the heterogeneous societies and is majorly based on an individual's aspect and not just the religion. Moving ahead to explain briefly Durkheim's view of organic solidarity. We have just talked about it. I have explained you the organic solidarity. You may please refer to these slides before. Distinguish between mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. Till here we have just distinguished between the mechanical and the organic solidarity. You may refer to this. Moving ahead is discuss Durkheim's views on social solidarity. When you talk about the transformation is one of his views. When you talk about the chaos and turbulent that you find complex society is again his aspect. When you talk about the division of labor on the basis of the skill sets available, that is again his aspect. Then when you talk about the when you talk about the whole concept of social solidarity is when you explain his concept properly. Discuss Durkheim's concept of mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. I am sure you will be able to refer to the questions before and get the answer of this.